the sports morning show right here on Sport 101. And like you can see, it was an explosive weekend across Europe in the Spanish La Liga, also in the English Premier League. And oh my, Mohamed Salah has come out and he's biting hard at Liverpool and Liverpool hierarchy. Also, Arsenal, are they back to where they have been over the years? Is this going to be another bottle job? We'll get into the Premier League, we'll get into the La Liga as Real Madrid dropped massive points over the weekend after their defeat to Celta Vigo. 2-0. That means Barcelona have taken a 4-point lead in the La Liga. It's all action right here on Sport 101. The morning show right here on Sport 101. And quickly, let's get into action. And the usual suspect, they are seated. Sami is here, Kofi is here. Guys, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, good morning.
Yeah, everything good?
Yes,
Everything
is good.
Yeah, great. Kofi, let's get straight into action. And there's no better place to start off from than Mo Salah. After Liverpool throwing away a 2-0 lead, the game eventually ended up 3-3. We thought, okay, we're going to go back to talking about Liverpool and what happened in the game. No, but it was the interview Mo Salah granted that has caught the attention of the media. Everybody has been speaking. I saw a video of John Terry this morning. Wayne Rooney has been speaking. Lots of people have been speaking. Kofi, you've heard the interview. You've heard Mo Salah. You've heard various commentary on it. What's your objective opinion of everything Mo Salah said?
Well, I think that in the context of the conversation, we ought to put all of the things that has been put out there in the public domain contextually. And I begin by saying that once a key element in the dressing room comes out in the manner Mo Salah has, it tells you that everything is not well in that dressing room.
Okay.
Two things. Either the manager has lost the dressing room, or there is a subtle rebellion brewing up in that dressing room. Look, it will take a lot of guts and it will take a lot of premeditation for a player to grant such an interview. Nobody can tell me that this just came out of the blue. It is something Mo Salah has been wanting to do. You understand? And I'm pretty sure that the conditions were right. The environment was right. It fitted well into the narrative. And look, these players, they are smart players. They know the repercussions of some of these things. You understand? And I'm pretty sure that he might not just have done it in isolation. He might have consulted his consultants or his advisors before making those comments. Because there are going to be dire repercussions. There are going to be dire repercussions. And some of the things that he said, very explosive. Some of the things that he said, that you cannot reconcile.
There have been some, breach of agreement. They agreed that there was an agreement and all of that. Like he spoke about how the club is trying to scapegoat him for
throw him under the bus and all of that.
The problems Liverpool are going through so many things.
For me, I have two versions of this story. One, I actually believe and belong to that school of thought which seeks to suggest that everything that happens in Vegas should stay in Vegas. You understand? There are unwritten rules in the dressing room according to people who have played with football. So there are so many things that happen in the dressing room. There are so many instances, and a lot of theories that pop up in dressing rooms. But I am of the firmest belief that whatever happens in that dressing room ought to stay in that dressing room. I think that Mo Salah overstepped his boundaries. Honestly.
How?
I'll come there. I think he overstepped his boundaries. Some of the things that he said, you cannot reconcile them again. You understand? Because look, when you put something like that in the public domain, one, you're undermining the powers of the manager. And then you are pitching the Liverpool fans against the management. You understand? And for Mo Salah, who is about a senior member in that dressing room, the last thing that you need technically is to antagonize sections in the midst of all of the turmoil that Liverpool are going through. That's why I believe that, yes, he might have a point and all of that. I think he overstepped his boundaries. And two, I think that if you analyze critically some of the things that he said, some of the things ought not to have been said. You understand?
Let's go into that.
I mean, look, I honestly look at some of the things that Mo Salah said, that he's earned the rights to have a starting bet. You don't say some of these things.
Has he not earned it?
No. Nobody should be a guaranteed starter in any team. That's what I believe in. Nobody should be a guaranteed starter. I mean, irrespective of the things that you've done in the past, I think that I have always preached on the principles of meritocracy. I believe that whatever you have done in the past, whatever it is that your reputation is in the club, I think that every time you go to training, it has to be a fresh start. Yes, some managers will choose to align with some of the things that you have done before, and because you hold a certain legendary status in the club. But I am of the firmest opinion that, listen, you do not say that by virtue of the things that you have done for the club, your position in the team is untouchable. I find it difficult to believe. So Van Dijk can also say the same thing.
Can you compare what Mo Salah has done for the club to what Van Dijk has done for the club?
All the things that Mo Salah has done for the club, Van Dijk has been part of it.
But yes, he's been part. But
exactly. I mean,
are they on the same scale?
It's not about being on the same scale. We have almost always played that card about strikers being the most important. You understand? But if you talk to the game changers in the game of football, they'll tell you that if you have a solid defense, or if you have somebody who anchors the defense and does it right, and is an ever present, you understand, in the defense, you're as good as solid. You understand? Because that is the base upon which great things are done. So I think that that's the first thing. I mean, so Van Dijk can say same thing now, or Alisson Becker can say same thing, that his position is untouchable. I think that, yes, Salah wanted to court some sympathy, but I totally think that he overstepped his boundaries. He got some of the things that he said wrong, and some of the things that he said, for a player who is that influential in that dressing room, you don't say some of these things. Look, and this is where I'll probably rope in the thoughts of Sammy. If Salah had granted this interview under, say, Alex Ferguson, he won't be a Man United player again. He won't. He would be gone by now. He would be gone by now.
But the things he said, is he not justified in saying them?
Which one is justified?
I asked this because let me show you this. And for me, this is where I feel that a lot of people are missing the point. This is Mo Salah since he joined Liverpool
No, we
for
all
the past
lucky.
crazy numbers.
Football is a team sport.
He's carried the team on his shoulders.
Lucky.
He literally is the one that, together with Klopp, won everything for Liverpool.
You cannot tell me he carried the team on his shoulders. Maybe save last season. You cannot tell me that all of the things that they did in the past, he was the one who carried the team on
When I say he carried the team on his...
He was as influential as Sadio Mane. He was as influential as Firmino.
That's
he was
true.
as influential as Jordan Henderson. In fact, people have ascribed all of the things that they did to the influence of Jordan Henderson. You understand?
Today they are hailing Jordan Henderson.
Wijnaldum, all of the guys in that midfield. What's the name of the third force? Fabinho. You understand? So you look, that team that won the league and the Champions League and won everything, from Alisson Becker to Trent to Robertson to Van Dijk. What's the name of that African boy who used to play alongside him? That Eastern African boy.
The Cameroonian.
Is he Cameroonian?
Yeah.
Which Naby Keita?
Cameroonian defender.
Yeah, the not just Keita was a midfielder.
You're talking about the defense.
Yeah, I mean that guy who looked a bit slanky.
Yes, Joe Matip.
Yeah, Joe Matip. You understand? So I think that, look, last season was where you would want to think that he being a senior member in that team, he was able to carry the team and then do a lot of things. But I do not think that, yes, based on his numbers, whatever it is that you want to say, it is justified. I do not think that we can say that he carried the team. And for me, Salah needs to look in the mirror and be true to himself.
Why?
Because if you want accountability, it starts from the senior players. And Salah has been putting in stinkers week in, week out. How many times haven't we sat here? Even us, without UEFA licensing coach, how many times haven't we sat here and said that the problem is that the manager needs to stop that order of meritocracy, and then he needs to start playing players who are fit for purpose.
But you agree to that Salah, his numbers in terms of goals and assist contribution this season is the highest amongst all the strikers they have.
I don't know about that.
How
many goals does he have?
That's the craziest thing.
Together, he
has about 10.
How many
in terms of goals and assists across all competitions?
No, I am talking about the league. He's been putting stinkers.
I'll get you the league. I'll get you. As for the league,
everybody cannot tell me that Salah deserves to start in this.
No, I'm not talking about he deserving to start. The reason why I think that people are being too harsh on Salah is he has put in stinkers as well as Virgil van Dijk has also put in stinkers. Even in that game against Leeds United, you saw the second goal that they conceded. He again did his, whatever he does usually, turning his back. Why is nobody talking about Virgil van Dijk? Why is he not being benched?
If you bench Van Dijk, who is he going to play?
So you think that a midfielder can deputize for Salah, because genuinely nobody can play that Salah role. What the role?
Chiesa can play that Salah role.
Oh, jeez, you're comparing Chiesa to whatever. Chiesa is better than what Salah can do.
I'm saying that Chiesa can play that role. You cannot tell me that Chiesa cannot play that Salah role.
Sammy,
Yes.
your take on all of this, and maybe you can speak to this. Why is the likes of Virgil van Dijk not receiving the same flack as Mohamed Salah? Why is he being literally being scapegoat for the problems of Liverpool?
Oh, I don't think Salah is being made a scapegoat. We've talked about the problem of Liverpool, and we've done a lot of analysis about what exactly is wrong with Liverpool. We mentioned the manager's selection. We've talked about their transfers and how they are balancing all these players that have come in. But at the same time, I think we've talked about Van Dijk. We've talked about certain players. I don't think we've necessarily singled out Mohamed Salah. If the media has, it has to do with the performances that he's put up, because Salah is this player that, he's built that legacy at Liverpool. He's a legend at the club. We know what he's done at the club. So if he's putting up certain performances that are below average, obviously, he will be talked about.
Let me chip in this, Sammy, and maybe it would help you this. So as you guys have you're requesting, Salah in the Premier League has 4 goals, 2 assists. Hugo Ekitike has 5 goals, 1 assist. Cody Gakpo has 4 goals, 3 assists. This is a guy who has not even been playing well, has missed the last 4 games. 4 goals, 2 assists. How is that fair to this man?
That's the reason why football, excuse me now, is rubbish, because everybody's talking about statistics, everybody's talking about all of that, and that's why I've always maintained that the best players, we don't always get to analyze the best players based on statistics. We talk about players like Ronaldinho, players like Iniesta, players like Zidane. If we are bringing in number of chances created, how many passes and all of that, I think that's a whole lot of nonsense. When we are actually talking about player contribution or talented players or how good a player is, sometimes statistics does not necessarily give you the true picture. I'd rather watch a football match and see the performance of a player. You could be at the right place at the right time and tap in a goal or get a goal here and there, but at the end of the day, it's your contribution to the team. And what has been Salah's contribution to the team overall is about overall performance. Yes, he's a very good goal scorer and all of that. He's carried the team. But this season, the team has not been playing well.
He's covered the most distance
Lucky,
amongst all the forwards.
I'm not interested in kilometers and statistics and all.
So how do you judge
things.
Contribution?
That's why you need to watch the game.
He either plays out wide on the left, on the right, or through the mid, depending on how the coach decides to set up. So he's either scoring or he's assisting. He's either tracking back to help create chances. And these numbers will determine how you contribute to the game.
You know, Bruno Fernandes is joint highest assist provider in the league,
together with Cheki.
You know that?
I know he's created the most chances.
Yes.
In the league.
Cheki has 5. Bruno Fernandes has 5.
No, you know.
I'm talking about
chances
created a game, and he's doing so much.
But when you watch Bruno Fernandes, he's not the same Bruno Fernandes.
That's
exactly the point that he's making.
I feel like football has gotten to a point where everybody looks at statistics, and you look at live score, and you look at who made an assist, who created a chance, and the distance. When you watch the game in its entirety, you get to see the performance of a player. And Mohamed Salah has not been that player. We know how Salah has been throughout his career. He's not that guy that would drop back. If you listen to Sadio Mane's interview with Rio Ferdinand, he talked about sacrificing for the team and all of that. We know that Salah has his own way of playing. But you see, you get to see the true leadership quality of a player during a time of crisis. When the team is not playing well. Remember when Ronaldo did that interview with PS Morgan?
Yeah.
He was, I think, 3rd highest scorer in the league the previous season.
Yeah.
He was United top scorer at that time. But he went on that rant, and even then his contract was terminated. Excuse me. So, you look at Liverpool and the area or where I have a problem with Salah, I think he's just a crybaby. And I think Salah has been very silly.
He has no reason to complain about how Liverpool have treated him.
If you feel like you are a legend at the club,
you
feel you're supposed to be starting games, which, by the way, it's not in your place to come and make those comments. You are not the coach. If you feel like you deserve certain kind of treatment, then I feel that you should show certain kind of responsibility. We've sat here time and time again, and I, for one, have mentioned the fact that tell me one time throughout this period Liverpool have had their crisis that Salah has appeared in front of the media to speak as a leader of the club.
What do you want him to say? What has the manager? What is the duty of the manager?
Lucky. The manager does his press conference. Players come out and speak. We see Van Dijk always addressing the media, always trying to talk about what exactly is going on in the club and how they need to do better. We see Bruno Fernandes, United. We see Diogo Dalot. We see some of these guys always coming to say that they need to do better and talk about what The challenges are at the club. The top guys at the club, the leaders in that dressing room, have to stand up. Somebody has to talk and address the media. Have you for once seen Salah take responsibility when he was playing regularly from the start of the season? Liverpool have lost games consistently, and Salah has come out as one of the leaders in that dressing room to take responsibility and talk about the fact that collectively as a team they need to do better.
So you think he's being selfish?
Yes. Now here's a case where you don't even play. You don't even make an appearance in the game. It's not like he even came on as a sub. He wasn't a substitute in that game. You don't even play, but you can come out after the game.
Because it was the reason why he didn't play that triggered that interview.
So he
the manager was asked why he didn't bring Salah on, and he said at the time he felt that they didn't need an attacker. They needed a midfielder, somebody to control the game. That was what literally triggered the whole, because he felt that, listen, at least I've done enough for this club
to
deserve certain minutes at least.
That no, it's not about, it's about what the manager feels is right. If the manager feels that they needed to close shop and then control the game from the middle, it didn't work.
Hasn't worked in the last God knows how many games.
And look, it's not just about you coming in and scoring goals. We are talking about leadership here. I don't know if you're not getting the point I'm making.
So
I get you.
So I mean, is Salah saying if he had played, they would have gotten a different result?
Exactly the point. It
It's
doesn't make any
50-50.
difference.
No,
it doesn't make any
been
difference.
the story this season.
No.
So
The
what's
point here is, during the time that the team was having all the crisis, they are still in that crisis, and you were playing regularly. We never heard Salah come out to talk about whatever the problem is at Liverpool, to take accountability. He said it's not like he's throwing his teammates under the bus. They need to do better. We never heard him come out as a leader to address the media. A couple of players, yes, we've seen Szoboszlai talk, we've seen Van Dijk talk. These are people that are not afraid to hide. They don't hide behind when things are not going well. They come out and they speak, because some of your teammates in the dressing room, the younger players, are looking up to these guys. And if Salah, you feel that you are bigger than everybody in that dressing room, you're a legend at the club, during that period, you didn't see the need to take accountability and address and speak even to the fans what exactly things are, and assure them that everybody is working hard to make things work. You didn't see the need to do that. But you get dropped for a couple of games, and in a game where you don't even appear, you have the guts to address the media. What are you trying to prove?
Right move, wrong time, or wrong move.
I think he was very stupid. It was a silly move. And look, you might have a case or whatever it is, but you see, this is where maturity comes in. I think he's very self-entitled. And we are seeing some of these things. You remember getting towards the end of last season when he started talking to the media about
contract.
It's always about whatever it is. Yes.
About him.
So I think this is a bad precedent, and we've seen, traces of this. I'm not trying to say that Slot should be spared or whatever it is, but the impression Salah is giving is either me or the manager.
Is this guys? Is this over for Salah?
I would be surprised. I think
after the AFCON in January,
the AFCON couldn't have come at a better time.
December, January, he's gone.
He should be gone. I don't think Liverpool should tolerate anything like that. Irrespective of whatever it is that you've done at the club, I feel, as I said, there were times where you should have proven that you are a leader in that dressing room by dealing with things better. Now, he coming out to the media and saying all these things, it has nothing to do with Liverpool's performances and all of that. It has to do with him.
Yeah.
That's where your challenge is.
Yes, and that's what he's done. He's talked about him. He's not playing and blah, blah, blah. But when you were playing and things were not well, you didn't talk to the media. So that's the point where I feel that Salah has shown that it is about him. It was a selfish move. It was a silly move. And look, for every serious institution, there's no coming back from this.
Kofi, is there any way this issue could be resolved between the two parties, Liverpool and Salah, or he's gone after the AFCON?
Well, I don't know the standards at Liverpool, but like I said previously,
If it was Manchester United.
Oh, come on. I mean, Ronaldo worked for lesser crime.
You not come back after the
You
AFCON.
don't say that. You don't impugn the integrity of your team. I mean, like Sami said, he had nothing to do about the outlook of the team. He had everything to do with Salah.
Me.
Exactly.
Look,
And it's not like he didn't even play in that game.
exactly. I don't like Slot. I think it's not fit for purpose.
You've always said he's not a good coach.
But you do not treat the dressing room in the manner. Look, Salah ran everybody down in that interview. That he's the most important entity. Look at what I've done for the club. Look at nobody. I don't need to. I don't need to fight for my place.
Imagine Ronaldo
That
makes a
I
comment
disagree
like
with.
that.
But
Ronaldo
that,
makes a comment like, imagine he makes a comment like that.
How
The
can
whole
you
world will
say
be
that
yours.
and walk into that dressing room
And
with
look at
the
your
younger
teammates.
players around? I don't need to fight for my place because I've done so much for the club.
he made an ambiguous statement at the tail end of the interview where he calls on his family to be at the last game, and these were his words. They should join him at the last game before the AFCON. I don't know. That's very ambiguous. I don't know whether it's going to be the last game for Liverpool, as in he playing for Liverpool before he departs for the AFCON, or that will probably be his last game for
Well, I
Liverpool.
don't
And
think
after the
he'll play
AFCON,
for-
that's it.
From
I don't
what
think
I'm
he'll play
gathering,
for
I don't
Liverpool
think
again.
he'll play for Liverpool again.
He's gone.
Look, at this point, it has to be about who the club wants to align with. Are they aligning with a winning superpower? Because look, there's a reason why all of the rumors about Simeone and other players Liverpool are flirting around with are springing up. They've realized that probably, from hindsight, they shouldn't have given him that bumper contract. You understand? They should have allowed him to walk because clearly he's not being that same player again. And for me, I do not think that Liverpool needs to be aligning with what are you showing? Liverpool needs to be aligning with
I thought I was going to
winning
enjoy
superpower.
my family a little bit. That they are taking them away from me again. That's why.
Yeah, taking your family away from you.
Go ahead.
So I think that Liverpool should stick with the manager. Yes, the manager has his own issues, but it will be a terrible precedent for Liverpool if they align with Mohamed Salah. Because look, if he is not punished, or if there are no severe reprimanding moves, it will be a terrible example in that dressing room.
That
That
somebody could do it and they'll
how
go
can
scot
you-
free.
How can you tell your club teammates that you do not need to fight for your place? Where lies the accountability? Where lies the honesty?
Anyway,
You
guys,
say that.
I don't know what your take is on this whole Mo Salah rant after that draw against Leeds United. But let us know your thoughts in the chat section, in the comment section. This is our sports morning show. We started off looking at the things Mo Salah has said. It looks like I'm the only one who feels a little bit on the side, or who sides with Mo Salah a little bit. Sami and Kofi totally disagree with Mo Salah, and they think that is all over. Do you think Mo Salah is right to have come out the way he did, and do you think it's over between himself and Liverpool? Let us know in the comment section right here on the Sports Morning Show. Sami and Kofi, Arsenal. I quite remember, it was a unanimous decision on this platform that Arsenal is winning the league this season.
It wasn't a unanimous
it was very unanimous. It was very unanimous. Kofi said Arsenal will win the league. You said Arsenal will win the league. And I asked
I
the
never
question.
said Arsenal will win the league. I've never said anywhere that Arsenal.
I thought you said you don't remember. You say you're going to.
Sami has always had this doubt about me.
No, he said
I've
Arsenal
always told
should
you
win the league. Yes, this way.
They have everything
Arsenal
to win it,
should
but
win the
they
league.
will not win it. I told you that
Yeah.
Arsenal is that one team I will never bet on. That's what
Yeah,
I've
that's
always
what
said.
Sami
Kobe,
said,
what
yeah.
is happening? We are in December, and as at I checked the league table, as at November 3rd, Arsenal were 10 points ahead of City.
They are unraveling.
10 points.
They are unraveling.
By December 5th, said Arsenal are just 2 points ahead of Manchester
They
City.
are unraveling. It's getting to them.
When you say unraveling, what do you mean?
It's getting tensions. It's getting tensions. Look, I like Mikel Arteta.
Yeah,
I want Arsenal to win the league.
but that's not true.
Oh, I do.
Genuinely.
Genuinely. I want Arsenal to win the league. But it looks like Mikel Arteta has not fully exercised all of his demons.
What should he do? He was without two of his best defenders.
Hold on.
Yes, everybody has had injuries. They are now having their fair share of this.
There is a reason. Everybody is ascribing Arsenal as being the firm favorite for the league title. There's a reason. Because one, I do not think that any squad in the EPL has greater depth more than Arsenal. That's
true.
So if you come back with that excuse about losing two of your best, whatever, absolute nonsense.
The best defenders in the EPL,
Which?
Saliba and Mihalis, they have proven that in the last 2 seasons they are the best defensive pair. That you know.
That's fine. But you do not win the league with only two good central defenders.
But you need a good defense to win the league.
How much did they spend on their central defense in the offseason?
Mosquera is out also.
No,
injured.
how much did they spend on their central defense in the offseason? Over 70 million pounds. Over 70 million pounds. You know why I am starting to feel a bit jittery? I am because look, Pep Guardiola is slapping in his room.
The last thing you want is City.
No.
Chasing you the way.
Look, something is happening you are probably not paying attention to.
Okay.
All of a sudden, some of the key elements at City who have been fluffing their lines are beginning to find that kind of form.
Holding.
Exactly. Look at the City defense. Guardiola, Ruben Diaz, all of them, O'Reilly. They are starting to have that level of belief. Arsenal lost the league last season because of Aston Villa. You go to Aston Villa, and at no point in that game did I feel Arsenal deserved all the 3 points.
But Villa have been one of the best teams in the league.
I don't think they've been one of the best teams in the league. Yes, I mean statistically, yes.
Yes.
But you see, if you want to lay down the gauntlet, if you have clear ambitions about winning the league trophy, you go to stomping grounds, stomp the place, and then lay down the gauntlet.
City lost there by a goal to nil.
Look. I'm beginning to feel jittery.
Okay.
Look at Arsenal's record against the biggest of teams on the land. Terrible.
They lost again. They drew against City.
Terrible.
Lost
Arsenal
to Liverpool
against the top 6.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Lost to Liverpool. Have lost to Aston Villa. They drew with Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So they've actually not won against any of the top 8 teams.
Exactly. That is not a championship winning team.
Okay.
That record is not a championship winning team.
But you know you can lose against the top 6 teams and beat
the
other teams and still go ahead and win the league.
That. Nobody has won the league doing that. You can't do that. You can't attempt to throw that theory towards. A championship winning team. And at this point, Sammy,
you have always said that. You've always said that you don't trust Arteta to win the league. And I can't remember on this show you've said that the last thing you want is City chasing you by January or by December, January. That's the last thing you want, because they can decide to put together 8 round of games and they will just start on an unbeaten run that you can't catch up with them.
But I told you by December, City will close the gap, and even by now, they are not at their best. They get into their best in the new year, and then they can put together about 10 matches run without dropping points. And so Arsenal need to, increase the gap as much as possible.
It was 10 in November, and now it's just 2.
I'm not surprised. Look, Arsenal would struggle to win the league. they
When
will
you say
to
struggle,
win
what
the
do you
league.
mean by they will struggle?
Remember, I mentioned that when they start getting one or two injuries here and there, then the excuses start coming in, and Arteta starts overthinking, and he will be the biggest problem for us now, not the players.
Yeah.
And so we're already seeing it. And I've been emphatic time and time again that Arsenal is the one team I will never bet on. Because when it matters most, they always dash it.
Wow.
I said that over and over again. And so I'm not surprised. And as Kofi said, it's something that we've looked at, we've analyzed, and we've seen that Arsenal, against the sides that are their closest competitors, they don't seem to have that control. And if you want to be a title winning side, it's in the big games that you make those statements. Arsenal have not made any statement in any of those big games when it comes to the top sides in the league.
Okay.
They've lost to Liverpool. They dropped points against Chelsea, against City. They've gone to Villa Park. Aston Villa didn't start well, but they've put together some very, very brilliant runs.
First 5 games,
Yes.
2 draws, 3 defeats.
Yes,
But
and forget about the Ligas now, because that game on, I told you, 18th April,
at the Etihad,
they will beat Arsenal. There are certain games that certain things that, look, when it comes to Pep and City, they don't play with. Arsenal don't have that experience. Arteta doesn't have that experience to lead the team over the line. And so I saw this picture, match of the day, posted, where Arteta is in the driving seat and then there's Pep right behind, and the caption is, "Objects in the mirror appear closer than they appear." So when you can feel City breathing, down your neck, it makes you start overthinking everything. So Arsenal do not want to find themselves in that position. I haven't looked at their next fixtures, but the games are coming thick and fast. And so you play the next game and then you get into the FA Cup, and then there's the Champions League this week, and at some point you drop another. Imagine Arsenal draws one more game and City wins. That's about it. They're level on points. Yes.
So on Saturday they'll be at home to Wolves. They'll win that game. They'll be on the road to Everton the following week, and they will take on Crystal Palace.
That's a difficult.
Then they take on Brighton.
That's difficult.
Then the last day in December, they take on Villa again.
That's difficult.
Then they go on the road to Bournemouth. Then they come back home to play Liverpool. Then they go on the road to Forest. Then they come back to play Manchester United. Some pretty not so certain games in there, but for probably Wolves, who've had a terrible at the bottom of the table, and maybe Everton. The rest are not so sure.
Arsenal are top side, but you see, there are 1 or 2 or 3 games there where you think that they will struggle to get.
Exactly.
They might not lose, but they probably drop points.
That game at home against Aston Villa will be a tough game. Against Palace, against Bournemouth on the road, they will be on. Then even against Liverpool at home. Yeah. If Liverpool have sorted out their issues by January, that game is actually the first week, Saturday in January.
That's the big game. Forget about Liverpool's problems. Yeah. Arsenal going into that big game.
Then the following, right after that, what is it called? A Liverpool game is a midweek game against Forest. Then on Saturday they take on United.
So look,
pretty tough draw in there for us.
That's why I've always maintained that it's at this time Arsenal should be way ahead in the league, because you know that you will definitely drop a couple of points somewhere, and you're not doing so well against your closest rivals. So if your closest rivals are the likes of Manchester City, and when you meet these teams, you don't tend to get 3 maximum points. It means that at the end of the day, you are shooting yourself in the foot, because Manchester City themselves, yes, they might also drop points here and there, but City know how to grind results.
But ironically, they have some pretty good games by the end of January. So they'll play Sunderland, they'll play West Ham, they'll play Forest, they'll play Chelsea, they'll play Brighton, United, then Wolves.
More favorable.
Yeah, more favorable fixtures for City. They play Chelsea at home. They play United away. These are the only 2 difficult games. The rest, Sunderland, Nottingham Forest, Brighton, and West Ham.
These are games that City could easily win. So
Yeah.
in those, out of those 18 points, you can bet City getting about 14 out of those 18
Yeah.
points. So I just feel that we are here now, and for somebody like me, I'm not surprised. And Arsenal doesn't really inspire that confidence in me. The Arsenal fans might disagree, but as I said, you are not doing well against your closest rivals.
Kofi, well, can Arsenal hold on? I've given you their last maybe 8 games for both teams. I've taken away the Champions League and European and FA Cup games. But looking at the fixtures these two competitors have, can Arsenal, in a way, hold on by February, March, and still be in the lead?
Well, I told you, they went to my rebels. I'm beginning to look a bit jittery. I was this confident at the start of the league, but with some of the results that are coming in, and then with the deja vu effect that we are getting, and with the issues playing out in the same manner they've always played out in the past, I am beginning to get a bit worried. And genuinely, I do not think that any Arsenal fan watching us today now is excited.
You saw the reaction of the players on the pitch after that, when they go.
No, because Villa deserved the win. I don't know why they were dejected. Villa were clearly the better team. And look, if they are taking their chances, they would have beaten us now more. You understand? I think, like Sammy said, Arsenal should have created an enough big buffer by now to guard against some of these tricky fixtures.
Yeah.
But what has affected them has actually been their away form.
Yeah.
Yes, they've had a very terrible. Yes, they've had a very terrible.
Lost against Chelsea.
They've had a very terrible away form. They were beaten by Liverpool and all of that. They've not really had a very good away form.
Yeah. So I think that Arteta needs to get his act together.
Can he?
At this point, I'm not too sure about anything.
Oh.
At this show, I think that I'll go with the squad who think that Arsenal will bottle it again.
I don't know about you, but you think that Arsenal is going to bottle the league again? We might get a clear picture of the league standing by February thereabout. There will know probably who is winning the league. But City is just 2 points behind Arsenal going into this coming weekend's fixtures. We'll get to know what happened at the end of the weekend. Obviously, Arsenal is beating Wolves, so they might just pick up some good points in there. But there's something interesting happening in the La Liga. Real Madrid, in their last 5 games, have won just a single game. So they drew against Girona, drew against Rayo Vallecano, drew against Real Betis. Then yesterday they lost to Celta Vigo. The only victory in their last 5 games came at the hands of came over Atlético Bilbao in midweek. Kofi, are we seeing players trying to undo? Because yesterday I was reading some reports in from the La Liga that it looks like that player unsettlement is affecting the team, and if Kylian Mbappe does not come to the party, the team totally shuts down. What's happening to Real Madrid?
They are unraveling. People fail to forget that this Real Madrid project is still a work in progress. I mean, basically, that's all I can say. I honestly think that they have pushed beyond their weight up until now, because I wasn't expecting them to be where they are regards the pointers of the project.
Well, like you've always said, it's the La Liga. It's either Real Madrid or Barcelona. Yes, that's always been either themselves or Barcelona. So where did you expect them to be?
Then why are we having this conversation? They are 14 games into the league. They are second on the league table. Why are we having this?
But in the last 5 games, Real Madrid have not been good. For you to just get just 1 victory in your last 5 games, 3 draws and 1 defeat. For a club that spent more than they spent over in excess of around 70 on Mostantano, lots of money bringing in Carreras and all of that. Why the justification that the project is young? and so we should cut them some slack.
No, so where were you expecting Real Madrid to be by now?
In your very own words, it's the La Liga.
No, so where were you expecting?
Either
Real
on top
Madrid?
of the table or second.
But they are second. So what's the first?
Are you satisfied with
No,
the performance?
You seem to be moving in wild circles. Where were you expecting Real Madrid to be? They are second. So why are we having this conversation?
So it's okay.
Is it because you are biased towards Barcelona?
I don't know
that
about
the
that,
point?
but it's okay.
Everybody knows that, including Jeff. Everybody knows you're a Barcelona fan. So is it the innate Barcelonaism in you that is getting you excited?
But what do you think has gone wrong for them in the last 5 games?
Clearly, you can ask that question.
Yeah.
Yes, you can ask that question. I think that's a fair question. You understand? That's an absolute fair question. The point is simple. I think that
When he's in that corner, he takes that approach.
no,
Okay.
anyway,
Anyway, go
I
ahead.
honestly think that all is not well at Real Madrid.
So what's the problem? What's not well?
Key players need to come to the party.
Okay.
Key players need to come to the party. And you know, there is some sense of entitlement about some of the Real Madrid players. It needs to be stripped off. I saw some of the things that they did yesterday.
Yeah.
Absolute nonsense. I nearly said something else. You understand? I mean, look, for us who even are not footballers, there's a first principle. You play to the whistle. The referee is the final authority when it comes to some of these games. Yes, you can your case out and all of that, but play to the principles of fair play. Play to the principles according to what is laid down by the referee. That silly sense of entitlement is what is going to make Real Madrid not get to where they want to get to. You understand? So I think that there are issues, and some of the other key players. I think that Real Madrid need to have more than enough outlets to goal scoring. I do not want to think that everything is going to be channeled through Kylian Mbappe. They are proven goal scorers in that squad. There needs to be a shared burden.
But it looks like that's what has
There
been this
needs
season.
to be a shared responsibility. You understand? And for me, until we get to that point, I think that Real Madrid they need to be accountable to themselves. I've read snippets of things that I've read that yesterday after the loss, Alonso did not speak a word in the dressing room.
Yeah.
And then there were players who were shouting that the referee is robbing them. And then there were some voices in the dressing room who said that, look, guys, we need to be real to ourselves. We need to be real to ourselves. The point is that nobody is sabotaging us. We need to be real to ourselves. We need to speak the issues as they are. You understand? So in that kind of meetings, that is exactly what needs to happen. And I think that people need to start being accountable for some of the things that they do and they
Typical Kofi. Kofi fails to mention some names who should be accountable. He fails to probably pinpoint the very issues. So players need to be accountable. What do you think is wrong with Real Madrid? If there are players who need to be accountable, who are those players? Sorry.
But I think Alonso has lost the dressing room.
He's lost it. So you agree with people who say that he's
so.
actually lost control over the players?
Yesterday, as Kofi said, after the game, he didn't step foot in the dressing room. With all the chaos that's going on at Real Madrid has always been known as that club that assembles the biggest collection of players. And so that's the institution that if any institution can manage the biggest egos on the planet, it's Real Madrid. And they've done that time and time
But
again.
Alonso knows this. He's played for the club.
but you see,
yes.
that's the thing. It's one thing to know how to do the job. It's another. One thing to be talented, right? To understand football, to know how to play the game. It's another thing to be a leader in terms of managing a collection of egoistic players. And so, if he doesn't find that balance, then Real Madrid is not Bayer Leverkusen. So Alonso, yes, he's won whatever he needs to win at Real Madrid.
As a player,
he's won the Euros. Did he win the World Cup in 2010?
Yeah, he's
he was
part of the team.
that.
Yeah.
He's won the World Cup. So yes, you carry that aura, but when you walk into Real Madrid, there are equally big players there. You have World Cup winners in that Real Madrid dressing room. You have players that have won the Champions League more times than Alonso has won the Champions League. Players that have won the league. So, there has to be that balance. And so when you look at the Real Madrid in its entirety, I feel some people are saying that the arrival of Mbappe, you should have made Vinicius leave and all that is causing chaos. Bellingham together with some of the other guys, there is that rift there where people are not being accountable. And it seems like nobody wants to take responsibility because people are accusing referees and all of that. But I think that shouldn't be the case.
What is the issue?
The issue is that there is instability in that Real Madrid dressing room.
Where
It means that
instability means
instability, the players are not getting along.
okay.
Some players feel that they deserve better. Some players feel that they should be playing more. Some players feel that they should be playing in certain positions. The manager is not handling it well. He's not dealing with it well. He can't find that balance as to how to get all the players in one place in terms of their mentality. And so when you go out there, you're not all on the same page and you start losing games or you start dropping points, then people start pointing fingers. Yes, because you didn't do it this way. We said this at the end of the day, you didn't do it like this. So that's the reason why it's not working. Just like Salah is doing. He felt like if he was in the game, Liverpool wouldn't have lost or blah, blah, blah. Things like that. Players will always feel entitled. Vinicius will always want to play. He would always want to play in a certain position. Maybe you have Valverde there. He would always want to play.
Yeah.
Rodrigo would always want to play.
Yeah.
And he would always want to play in a certain position.
Yeah.
So when you have things like that and then you have things like that going on, and the manager doesn't know how to find that balance or get the team, playing together as a team, then it becomes a problem. And so for a team like Real Madrid, when the results, don't come as a result of some of these things, then it explodes, it blows up. And if the manager doesn't find, that authority to be able to deal with whatever he has to deal with in the dressing room, then it gets worse. For example, what happened? With all the chaos and everything, he had to leave. He didn't communicate with the players.
Sometimes that's the best thing to do so that things will calm down. Then you can step in and probably address issues.
Calm those things down.
There's a local balance which says that you don't stand in the midst of ants and try to clear them off you. Sometimes you need to get out of the issue or the problem before you can address
Do you
it.
think that there is a lot of chaos in the dressing room? Players are arguing with each other because something didn't go right in the game, and Ancelotti walks in the dressing room, or Pep Guardiola walks in the dressing room, or Mourinho walks in the dressing room, or Sir Alex walks in the dressing room, and the argument will still continue.
He's not depth exactly.
That dressing room
they built that
makes everyone
aura.
keep
They
quiet.
built that aura over
Exactly
years,
the point.
and he hasn't. So
Exactly the point.
in the scenarios, you can't compare the two
Yes,
scenarios.
so that's why I'm saying that he's showing. I know we had this conversation like 2 months ago. He's showing that the job is bigger than him. Because if, as I mentioned, you cannot calm things down, and you're saying that it's better for him to walk away and let things calm down naturally, then it means you're not cut out for it. Because there are other managers that would walk in there, and whatever noise is being made in that dressing room will cease just by their mere presence in that dressing room.
How before probably we wrap up on all of this today, it's going to be a quick but how have Barcelona been able to, in the midst of whatever is happening also in their camp and all of that, they find a way to keep a cool head and still go on the road, beat Real Betis by 5-3, and it looks like they are trying to put the distance between themselves and Real Madrid right now is 4 points, heading into probably the close of December.
If he continues like that, Barca will win the league. When we started this season, I wasn't emphatic. I mentioned that I'm not sure about Real Madrid. They look like the better side going in because of all the issues with Barcelona. One thing about Barca is that irrespective of all their issues, all the problems that they have a way of getting results on the pitch. They might falter here and there. They might have their challenges. And again, it's down to the brilliance of Hansi Flick and how he's handling that dressing room. Real Madrid started the season. Yes, the issues were there. The cracks were there. But they were getting the results.
Yeah.
Barcelona started the season. We all knew what their challenges were. We knew their financial issues. We knew some of the injury issues. But they were just hanging in there. And now we are seeing them picking up results. It's not like all is well, but they are picking up results. But in the case of Real Madrid, it's more like the ship is capsizing. And it all has to do with the egos of the players. It all has to do with the fact that they just cannot come to terms with what is happening and they cannot agree. But with Barcelona, I think that Hansi Flick has control of whatever it is that's going on in that Barcelona dressing room. That's the difference between Real Madrid and Barcelona. And it brings us to the issue of leadership. Because the team might have its challenges. It might be that certain players have not even been paid. But the manager knows how to control that dressing room. And that's the difference between Real Madrid and Barcelona at the moment. Real Madrid are always, in recent times, they've always been in a better place than Barca when it comes to stability and finance and all of that. But Barcelona seem to know how to, keep aside whatever issues they have off the pitch and then get the results, on the pitch. But, to wrap up, this whole thing happening in the La Liga, it can only happen in the La Liga. When I say it can only happen in the Liga, I'm not talking about the conflict and the rift.
Yeah.
If this chaos
between the two giants.
Look, if you have something like that, or the competition, let me say, the teams in the Premier League are these same teams that Real Madrid and Barca are facing, they would have fallen off long ago. Because you wouldn't have breathing space to be misbehaving in your dressing room and be all these things happening, and you think other teams will sit back and not capitalize. No. Real Madrid is just a tip of the iceberg. Next game, you will see that they'll probably win emphatically. But it can only happen in the La Liga because the competition there is not stiff enough. Because look, with all this crisis and everything, teams will have a go at you, and before you recover, you're somewhere in 12th position or 13th position. But in the La Liga, Real Madrid can afford to have all the challenges and still be second on the league log.
Okay, so I like we said, today is going to be a very crispy show, and we've had a quick turnaround on the issues in the La Liga, as well as what's happening in the English Premier League. Obviously, there will be Champions League games taking place tomorrow and Wednesday. Tomorrow, Bayern Munich could take on Sporting CP. Arsenal, Barcelona will welcome Frankfurt. Liverpool will be away to Inter Milan. Monaco will take on Galatasaray. These are some of the games happening tomorrow. On Wednesday, City will travel to the Santiago Bernabeu. This fixture is becoming one of the frequent fixtures in the Champions League. Arsenal will also be playing Club Brugge as well. So on Thursday we'll come back and obviously we'll give you an extensive throwback to what happened in the Champions League and Europe. We greatly apologize for the late start of the show. The show comes off every Thursday and Monday. So Mondays and Thursday at exactly 9 o'clock a.m. And we promise that on Thursday we'll be here to talk sports. I did this with Sammy and Kofi. See you again on Thursday. But make sure you subscribe to the channel and follow us on all social media platforms.